Hey Thrivers, you're listening to episode 51. Today we are joined by special guest Nicole Vasquez, owner of Nicole Taylor Boutique in downtown Lancaster. Nicole is not just an inspiration when it comes to inclusive fashion. This girl is business savvy and the definition of self-made. She is sharing with us today about her journey from fast fashion to sustainable clothing and styles to flatter every body type, along with her business know-how and tips for reaching your goals.
Welcome to The Thrive, a podcast for working moms. This is for all the women and moms listening. If you work from home, in an office, run your own business, or are the CEO of your family, this podcast is for you. Because at the end of the day, all moms are working moms. Rachel and Christine invite you to celebrate the victories, get advice, listen to their mom fails, and to know you aren't alone, to thrive in your everyday life.
Hey Thrivers, it's Rachel.
And Christine.
Welcome. This is episode, 52?
51?
51? We're
51.
over 50 now. It's hard to keep track.
We're over the hill, right?
We have with us today a very special guest, somebody that I've been really excited to have on the show. Welcome, Nicole, to the podcast.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. This is Nicole. Is it Vasquez?
Yes.
Vasquez. Yeah. All right. I always feel like I say that wrong, but I think I said it right on my IG stories this morning.
Yes. It's funny because just a quick little story about that is, so my dad's birth certificate was wrong, and his is VAS, but in reality, our last name is VAZ. So like he's the only one that like changed his name to get like his passport, but like everyone else is VAS. So I'm really Vasquez.
Oh, okay.
Which is weird. That was fun. That was so funny.
Yeah, little tidbit there. That is funny how sometimes it's like, well, once it happens, it's like, it's so hard to fix it. Who cares?
Yeah, he was like not happy. He was like, I'm the only one who's like VAZ and the rest of my family is VAS. But I don't know, it was a mix up in Puerto Rico. So
that's where you're from?
Yes. So my family's from Puerto Rico.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And Nicole is the owner of Nicole Taylor Boutique.
Yes.
Which is a women's boutique downtown. What's ironic is we had Kristen from Sophie Stargazer Boutique here, and their stores are literally like not just on that same 300 block of North Queen, but you're like next to each other.
Yeah, we've been neighbors so she just made her 6-year anniversary, and I just had my 8th-year anniversary on First Friday. So we've been neighbors for 6 years, even on East King Street.
Okay.
When I was that shoe girl.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, so we've known each other for a couple years already.
We talk about in the business world, community over competition, and here you girls are both doing something that could look similar, but because you're both who you are in different styles, you are able to work alongside each other. And I love that you'll like post things about each other. It's just so cool to see you business women doing your thing alongside each other.
Yeah, I think it's so important. Like my girlfriend and I, Stacy from NV Studio, were talking about this yesterday. It's like, I didn't grow up like with, like my parents never really taught us about like competition. Like everything was like, you can always do something that whatever you put your mind to, you can do it. Don't ever look at anyone as competition. We all are different. We all have our own style. And she's doing great. I'm doing great. And I just feel like we really thrive, like, next to each other. We have a lot of the same customers. I send people there. She sends people over to me. And that's with like a lot of the other boutiques in Lancaster. Every single store you go into, they're completely different. I don't feel like anyone has the same style, and that's what's great about it.
Yeah, and I think that's true. I always like shopping at boutiques because I don't get all my clothing there. I mean, I wish I could afford to do that, but at this stage of life, I can't. But I like finding those things that I'm like, no one else is going to have this shirt. And I feel like you guys both carry a variety of brands that like you're not going to find anywhere else. Yeah. So I love that about both of your stores. I actually, random, but my favorite scrunchie is from your store.
Oh, really?
it has lasted me for like 2 years now. Or maybe 1 year, I don't know. I got it like a summer ago or 2 summers ago. And a lot of those, like the elastic wears out or whatever. And whatever brand of scrunchies you're carrying, it has lasted me. And I get so many compliments on it every time I put it in my hair.
Well, that's what you get when you buy from like independent designers. They actually take very well care of what they're creating and what they're making, and not like through like a quick manufacturer that's like, oh, we're not going to check whatever it is. Like,
they're just pumping out like thousands.
They're and it's like with me and a lot of the other stores downtown, we're really careful, like the designers that we choose, and like I know Kristen and I are going more towards like ethical and sustainable. So like we want to make sure that the world is great also while we're supplying beautiful clothes. It's not just like, oh, we want to have beautiful clothes and not think about everything else. So like I really try to make that every time I'm like buying. It's like, okay, who's making my clothes? Where is this made? Is it ethical? Is it sustainable? Like, I just want to make sure that it's all great.
Oh, that's awesome.
Down to the little scrunchies. It all matters.
Down to the little scrunchies and hairpins.
Well, I love a good scrunchie. So now, Rachel, that you've said that, I feel like I need to go look for a good scrunchie.
When you go shopping now. So I did want to ask just a little bit about your background. You mentioned your family's from Puerto Rico. And the thing I love about you and your story is that you were born and raised in Lancaster, though.
Yes.
And you've been here like your whole life.
Yep, 31 years.
So tell us a little bit about just your career journey, because you're only 31. You just said you've had an 8-year anniversary of your store.
Yes.
And I did want to mention that you also said, Kristen also having like a 6-year anniversary?
Yeah,
you guys are beating the statistics, because don't they say like most small businesses, like if they're not going to make it, they don't make it past like that 3-year mark?
Yeah, like 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
Some people even say 5, depending on what industry you're in. Just through the grace of God and just giving my like, I'm very like community oriented. And I always just try to make sure that I give back to my community just as much as they give back to me. And it's about being different also. Like a lot of people come into my store and they're like, oh my gosh, Nicole, like you are amazing. You're a great person. We love that we can sit here and talk to you about our personal life while shopping. Like, I'm all about making sure my customers are happy and that they're comfortable and that they feel beautiful. And I'm going to be 100% honest with them while they're shopping. And I feel like that's...
You're like everybody's sister, best friend, mom.
I want to be everything. Like, I want to make sure that when you leave my store, you're going to be very happy with what you bought. Like, I don't want someone to be like, oh, she just sold me on that. I'm not sure. Like, no, if it doesn't look right, I'm not gonna let you walk out the store, because that's a representation of me too. You
need that.
I love that though, because a lot of the big stores, they are like commission based, and like you'll walk out with something that you're like, oh, I don't know if it was worth that. But you're definitely doing something right, because both of you are like beating those odds as far as the small biz statistics go, and that's awesome. So tell us how you got started. Born and raised in Lancaster, like what inspired you to do what you're doing now?
So let's just start off from like childhood. My mom was actually a plus size model before it was like a really big thing.
Oh,
yes. So she was modeling for like department stores and like all that stuff. And me and my sister would always go to like her fashion shows. And then she also went to school for cosmetology. So model, cosmetology, she always had her kids looking so nice. Like I remember having like fake blonde streaks in my hair, and there was like this pen that you can like write on your hair. We would have like gold streaks, we would have like blue streaks, and like she would always have us like dressing nice. So like it stemmed from my childhood, from my mom. And if you see her now, that lady does not wear anything under 6 inches of heels. Like she's dressed to go to the grocery store. So like my sister and I like fell in love with. I used to have fashion shows. We used to cut each other's hair and get in trouble. Like, oh
my gosh, that's so funny.
It was just like, it was so much fun. Just like growing up with a sister who was like just a year older than I was. So she's my best friend, and we've done a lot of like fashion stuff together. But it wasn't until like high school, where I really felt like I found my fashion sense, because I was a tomboy pretty much my whole like elementary and middle school. Like we played basketball, we did like like our friends were mostly guys, so like we did all the guy stuff. But it wasn't until like high school where I really found like my like who I was and my fashion sense. So like my sister and I used to make our own clothes, and then our friends caught on to it. Then we used to make our friends' clothes. And then it was like so much fun. And then like during prom and homecoming and all like the school dances and activities or whatever, people used to come to my closet. I remember, and I used to just dress them. And then from there, I went on to like after high school doing styling. I used to travel down to Atlanta and New York, and I was featured in magazines out there. And I was like, wow, if people are loving the way that I'm styling them, why can't I do this for my community and the people in Lancaster? So 2012, I'm that shoe girl.
Oh, and I remember I used to follow you on Instagram. I think for me, like I had just moved back to Lancaster about that time. It would have been like 2012, 2013.
Yeah.
And I remember just feeling like this place I grew up, that like I didn't really go downtown that much. Like I didn't grow up downtown, but not that far from the city. And I feel like when I came back after college, it was just in that stage of like a lot of these stores and a lot of these places were just opening, or like they were just really revitalizing the city. And so I remember like, I think I found you on Instagram and was like, "Ooh, what a cool shop. Like this girl's got it going on." And then I was like, "Oh my gosh, she's young." And I've just always felt really inspired by you as like a fellow business person, as I've been trying to grow my business. And I see you at a lot of these other community events and things like that. And how did you get involved in all these things? Because I know that you are on the planning committee for FET, right?
Yes. So I'm on the planning committee for FET. I just feel like when you have a store, it's also a platform for you to do other things. Like if I didn't have a store, I wouldn't have known about a lot of the things that are happening in the community. So I feel like the people in the leadership positions of these organizations, once they see that you are you want to help out and that you are doing something for your community, they're going to reach out to you so you can help them in whatever endeavors that they're doing also.
Yeah.
So I was on the committee of A Week Away, which I love that organization.
Yeah. What's A Week Away?
So what they do is they grant, let's say if you're ill, like very ill with cancer or whatever illness, they will grant you a week away with you and your family. You can pick whoever you want. All expenses paid for. Hotel, food, transportation, everything. So that is a great organization that I was a part of for a while.
Is that local, or is there just like a local chapter?
Nope, it's actually started here in Lancaster.
Oh, that's neat. It's kind of like a Make-A-Wish, but for grown-ups.
For grown-ups and kids.
It's
anyone who has like an illness.
Okay.
And they grant you like a week away. They started off with like more like cancer patients.
Okay.
Because the young man who started it died from cancer, but he went on something very similar, and him and his family were granted a week away. So that he wanted to start something here for his community, for people like himself.
Oh, that's really neat.
Now it's time for our review of the week. M. Groff said, "I love this blend of business and motherhood chat because it feels very close to my reality. I've loved learning about all the women business owners in Lancaster and how they are balancing life. My favorite part is crowdsourcing our favorite things. Rachel and Christine do an awesome job of keeping the conversation going and contributing their own life experiences. In case nobody has told you yet today, you guys are doing amazing." Oh my gosh, she even stole our line.
You have like a really great heart, Nicole. I
Thank you.
Like how you started even just helping style your friends. Obviously, they saw you as someone they could trust, and now hearing the way you care for your whole community through your store.
Yes.
Who are like your big inspirations, either now or when you began your whole business venture?
I would say like both of my parents were like my inspirations because they work their butt off to like give their children like whatever they needed to survive. Like we didn't have a lot, but we didn't have a little either, you know, like my parents definitely always taught us to always go for our dreams, no matter how high they were or how small they were. Like make sure you always go for your dreams and don't live your life and you wish you would have. You know what I mean? So like I have I opened that Shoe Girl when I was 23. But before that, I bought an apartment building. So like when I was 20, I bought my first apartment building, and then
in there. Oh, I bought a building.
Well, I'm just like I always
so are you
knew
just a
I was
saver?
gonna.
Are you a saver?
I've always saved money, and my parents tell me when they describe me to like someone and they're talking financials, they're like, Nicole is always broke. Nicole always says she's broke. It's because I don't like to spend money. I'm a saver. Like
but then you're able to do these things.
And then I'm able to do the things that I really want. Like I'm not just gonna spend a whole bunch of money on something that I'm gonna regret later on, you know? Like I'm very like frugal with my money. Like to be honest, like I make sure that I get the necessities that I need and that everything else, like I set my goals to like, all right, here goes my 1 year, my 5 year, my 10 year. And like, I have my business goals on there, my personal goals on there. And I always just try to make sure that they're achieved by, let's say if I wanted to buy another building, I'm like, okay, by this year, this time, I need to have X amount of money saved. So yeah.
Good for you.
You're doing things right.
Yeah, and I feel like that speaks to setting intentions.
Exactly.
Like getting them on paper. Like there's definitely power in that. Just getting them out there, making it known. And then I wanted to ask, were you a part, as you're growing your business, just business-wise, for anyone that might be in these stages? So was the apartment building kind of like a way to create like residual income to finance some of your other projects, to like do the store, or that was just kind of, it fell into your lap?
So literally we were just looking for a house. We couldn't find anything, my fiance and I. And
so you guys have been together a long time.
We've been together 13 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. So we were looking for just a house, and there was nothing, and we wanted to live in the city because I eventually knew that I wanted to open a business downtown, and that was my that Shoe Girl. So we were like, okay, we're gonna find a house in the city, but there was like nothing at that time. I'm just like, oh my gosh. So then I was like doing some research myself, and then this building came up, and it was like very inexpensive at that time because that's when the market was really down, and Obama was giving like $8,000 for like first time home buyers, and I was like, oh, $8,000 if I were to buy a house. So then that's what I did, and I bought the building, and it was just something that I just wanted to do. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be great. It's going to be great. So then when I get older, or God forbid, if I lose my job or anything happens, that is going to be like my source of income. So then after 3 years of living in the apartment building, then I was like, okay, I think it's time for me to open my store. So then with all the money that I had saved from working in the nursing field and working my butt off, I was working like 90 hours a week.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't see my fiance, I didn't see my parents, and we're very family oriented. Like we have dinners every Sunday at someone's house. Like we're just so family oriented, and I couldn't do any of those things because I knew I wanted to open my store. Like I told my nieces, I'm like, I'm sorry, no Christmas presents for you guys for like a couple of years, because I knew like opening that Shoe Girl was something that I wanted to do. So I went to go try to get a loan, but they don't really give loans to first-time business owners. It's very hard to get it. So I didn't want to go through all the trials and tribulations. So I was like, okay. I funded my business almost $100,000, and I was like, all right, this is what I'm going to do. So I opened that Shoe Girl without getting a loan.
Oh my gosh. This is so cool. I never knew that. That definitely speaks to, your work ethic, your saving. That's really cool. Did you have a SCORE mentor, or were you part of any of those types of things when you were starting?
I didn't know about any organizations. I was up one time at like 5:00 in the morning, and one of those infomercials came on, and there was a book. I totally forget what the name of the book was, but it was talking about like, I don't know if it was like fate or what it was, but it was talking about like how to start a small business and how to get grants and how to get loans. And it led me to Community First Fund.
Okay.
So when I went there, I remember speaking with one of the lending officers there, and she was telling me everything that I had to go through in order for me to get a business loan. And at that time, someone who didn't know anything about business, I was like, whoa, this seems like extreme and very hard. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do all this stuff in the timely manner that I want to open my business.
Yeah.
So I spoke with my fiance, and I was like, let's just use whatever money we had saved in the bank to open the store.
Okay.
So that's what we did.
Wow. That is so cool. So, that's impressive. And then tell us a little bit about the transition from that Shoe Girl to Nicole Taylor Boutique.
Yeah, so when I opened that Shoe Girl, I was actually 22 going into 23. So like my fashion sense was a little more, well, it was a lot different, should I say. It was more like when I looked downtown, there was nothing geared towards like the younger, like high school, college kids, and like people who like wanted to go out and enjoy the nightlife. There was nothing in Lancaster for that. So I was like, why don't I create that here in Lancaster?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I did. And I thought that was who my customers were going to be, was like the younger crowd, and like come in and shop every week and like buy outfits to go out. And then I would say probably like within the first like 2 years, that's who my customers were. And then it kind of like gradually changed into like a more professional and like a little more older demographics and like more young professionals, because that's when downtown was like really like revitalizing and like bringing more younger professionals, and I feel like that's who were shopping more in my store. So then I started changing my my store from like more like shorter dresses and like more extreme plunging necklines and like going out club wear to like more younger professional. And when I did that, I noticed how much more my business has grown.
Nicole, are you saying that as a 30-something mom, I'm not supposed to be wearing the plunging neckline?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying like extreme plunging, where it's like you see everything.
I feel like every shirt is a plunging neckline.
Oh, I have a plunging neckline on now. But what I'm talking about is more of like an extreme plunging neckline, where like the dress is short and then you have the plunging neckline along with it. You know, like more club wear.
I had those clothes. I went to school in New Jersey.
Yeah.
During it was during those years, because I'm only 1 year younger than you. I'm 30.
Okay.
And so in New Jersey, at the time, the show Jersey Shore had just come out.
Yeah.
And so not only did I have the plunging necklines and the short dresses, but we had the spray tans.
Oh, yeah.
So I had like the orange look going on with like the tight dress and high heels, and
Times have changed. Now, you obviously are a go-getter, Nicole. I feel like Rachel was mentioning, like you're setting a goal, you have aspirations, and you achieve it. Do you ever have like moments of fear or questioning where you're going, and how do you tackle that?
Yes. There's times having a business is like a roller coaster. You have your peak moments where you're like, oh my gosh, like this is why I did it. I love this. And then you have your moments where you're like, why did I do this? Oh my gosh. Like, especially when I first opened, I was like, how am I going to make it enough to like pay my rent and bring inventory in and, things like that, pay my bills. But then I feel like I feel less of that now because I'm more secure in like my business. I know this is what I love. Of course, I still have my ups and downs, but I have more ups than I do downs, and I really know like my customers now, like being 8 years into the business. I know what they like. I know what they don't like. So I feel like I have more of like the ups than I do the downs. But of course, we all feel that way sometimes,
Yeah. And I'm sure too, because you seem to always surround yourself by really positive influences or like-minded people, that when you got to those moments, you had people that you trusted to talk out those thoughts or, worries to get to the place now where you can just see them all as successes.
Yes. I always tell people I want to be the dumbest one in the room. Like I want to learn from other wise people. Like I want to learn. All of my friends are literally way older than I am. My best friend is 55 years old, but he had a business for over 30 something years. So I learned so much from him. Right. He actually owns El Jardín Flower Shop. Right on Orange. No, that's Walnut and Queen, right down the street from me. Okay. But then I also have a mentor from Work Wisdom. Her name is Kedrin, and she's awesome. So I always surround myself around people that I can learn from, and that's going to teach me something.
Yes, that is so smart. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of business books that you read and like just the podcasts I've been listening to lately for business stuff support that so much. Mm-hmm. That was something my husband and I were just talking about because he has a business as well. And so we've been talking about, well, maybe we could get dinner with these people, and just pick their brain. Yeah. We have this dream of maybe having an investment property one day, like you are doing, or like you've done. And for us, being in this stage with kids and having a little, I don't know if I want to say we can't take as much risk because it's just we're in a different stage of life where we would want to make sure that we have all of our ducks in a row before we jump into something.
That's smart. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love that idea of surrounding yourself with people that are going to be able to teach you those things and to learn from people like that. And I feel like just makes relationships so exciting too. And it's somebody that not only do you trust and you can have fun with, but you can really learn from them. So thank you so much for sharing all of these things with us. We are going to take a quick break. And then when we come back, we are going to be talking about fashion. We're going to be talking a little more about some of the items and the things that you have in your store. I can't wait to hear about just all the things. And Nicole has some tips she's going to share with us for dressing when you're a curvy woman, because we are all with that crowd these days. At least I feel like my body has changed quite a bit when I was younger. So I cannot wait to hear your advice.
Hey Thrivers, we wanted to take a quick break to just say thank you for listening to our show. We are so happy and just so thankful to have grown this community of listeners into something that we never expected. And I also want to direct you to our website where if we mention, that'll be in our show notes, this is where you can find that information. Simply go to rachelkleincreative.com/Thrive Podcast. And from there, you'll see recent episodes, recent interviews, and that's where you'll be able to click on the links to the different things we mentioned on the show, whether it's a personality test or how to connect with one of our guests. All you have to do is go to our website and the information is there for you. And thanks again for listening today. We appreciate you, and we are so thankful to have you as part of our community.
Welcome back, Thrivers. We are so excited to continue chatting with Nicole, entrepreneur, boss woman, beautiful fashionista. And now we're going to get into some real good tips and tricks. I know that my body has changed quite a bit. I know Rachel and I talk about that a lot. So we would love to hear all things fashion from you, Nicole, especially for women with curves.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like a lot of it, like you said, is like after your body changes, but I feel like stage of life too definitely affects the type of things you want to wear, because you need things that aren't, like Nicole was saying, for going to the club, but we need clothes that can maybe transition from like office, or like you from teaching to picking your kid up from preschool or daycare and then going on with your evening. So yeah, Nicole, tell us your biggest tips for just finding things that you feel good about and things that flatter your body when you are a curvy woman.
Yeah. So there's a lot to talk about in like a short period of time. So for a more curvier woman, we're all shaped completely differently. Like I'm more top heavy than I am bottom heavy, and there's women who are more like bottom heavy than they are top heavy. So it really depends on your silhouette. So I just kind of wanted to talk about like the different body types that there are. So there's apple, which your upper body is going to be heavier than so your upper body is going to be heavier. Your shoulders are going to be broader, and your bust line is going to be bigger also. So like apple is going to be more like,
a rounder,
more of like a rounder, like
proportionately speaking, like your proportions. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
But I feel like apples sometimes have real good legs.
Apples have good legs also. So the fashion tip for that is flaunt your legs, wear dresses with a V-neck, or like a plunging neckline, but that's not super plunging like we were talking about earlier. You want to wear like an empire waist. Prints are good for you when you're an apple body type, in darker colors.
Okay.
And then you want to avoid like snug dresses and snug dresses and also snug tops. But then you also want to avoid skinny jeans. So it's just going to make you look.
No skinny jeans.
Yes, no skinny jeans when you're an apple.
I'm not an apple, but I was just, remembering.
And then for hourglass, which Jessica Timblin, she had us do like measuring and all that stuff. Yeah. She says that's what I am. So I avoid like baggier tops. Anytime you see me, you're gonna see me more in like a fitted top and more of like a V-neck. And then something that is like high-waisted or A-line or something that like snugs in my waist, because my chest area and my waist are going to be more of like my flattering part. So I always want to like show them off a little more. I wear a lot of palazzo pants. Anything. Yeah, that's why Rachel and I were talking about this when we were walking to go get some tea. But like for me, I'm always in like something that's a little bigger in the bottom and then a little more fitted up top. I wear like a lot of belts. Belts are always like good for me.
And what shape or fruit are you?
I'm considered an hourglass when I'm myself. Yeah. So I'm gonna be more slimmer at the waist and bigger up top, and I have, hips and butt. So, but
she's got it all.
I was gonna say I feel like that's me now. If you're saying that, like the skinniest part, and when I say skinny, that means something a lot different nowadays. But in the middle, then I got all the other stuff.
Yeah, you're gonna be a slimmer in the waist than you are everywhere else, and that's like my body shape is like. I love showing off like my waist part, so I love wearing more fitted tops. And when I wear a jacket, it's either going to be a crop jacket or something that's tighter up top but it has flow to it also. Like all of my cardigans are super tight in the arms because I don't want to make I have big arms already, so I don't want to make it look like I'm more of a linebacker. So I wear everything that I wear up top is going to be more fitted. In the bottom, it's going to be a little more looser. So it makes that illusion that you
have a really thin waist.
And that you're more proportioned.
Yes. Okay.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, these are such good
tips.
And I really feel like you have to be, if you want to look good, you got to be intentional about what you wear is the thing I've been learning.
Yeah. And you do. Like, you don't want to, and people think, oh, body shapers, they're bad. Like, when you have great undergarments, like from your bra to your underwear to your like your shapewear, that's also good too. Like it just makes everything look a lot smoother. And like my mom, she is a pear. Like she's super small up top, but then her hips and her butt are bigger. And she wears a lot more like A-line. She'll wear patterns. She loves bright colors, and like all of that stuff looks good on her because she's like, you know, very well proportioned with that too.
Yeah.
She loves wearing skinny jeans that looks good with like a more fitted top. Like there's like a few different body types that it depending on what you are, you know, that's what looks good on you.
Yeah. I think I'm more of a pear. I definitely don't have, I wish I had what you have going on up top. but
I don't say that I wish I didn't because it's hard to find good tops. Like for me, I always have to like pin, which I don't mind. Like, but I mean, girl, you look good.
This is just
thank you. It's
always cleaner.
Arms. I never noticed anything about your arms. I know we all just have that thing that like we're a little more self-conscious about, and we're probably the only one that notices it.
Yeah, and that's how it is most of the time. Because when my customers come in the store, they're like complaining about like, you know, oh, I have a little this or a little that, but I'm like, you look so good. Like we're always our worst critics, and that's like the bad thing is like we see everything because we look at ourselves every day and we see the flaws that we have, but other people don't see that. And if you dress for your body type, then it makes everything look good, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the great thing about going to a shop like yours, Nicole. Like, I honestly want to drop everything right now and come see you in person, like at your store, because you need that sounding board or someone to help you see the way you look for how you really look. And then maybe explore some options like you were talking about, maybe the sweater that looks better on you. Maybe I've been wearing all the wrong kind of sweaters. Just someone to kind of point that stuff out to you. What a cool service, gift, act of love that you are doing for all the women that come shop with you.
Yes, and we have, I mean, it's not that we just serve one body type. We serve from your size 00 to your size extra large and beyond. You know, like we try to make sure that we cater to every single body type that comes into our store. And we also try to make sure that we buy classic pieces that you can wear to work and maybe with a blazer, and then after work for like Friday happy hour, you can take it off and you have like a nice like open back, but it looks super professional up front. But then you can take your blazer or your cardigan or your jacket off and it's like a party in the back. So we try to exactly. So we try to make sure that we cater to every walk of life in every profession, and you know, every body shape, every color, everything, every height. Like we try to make sure that we cater to every single person. Like a girl who's in college can also come in with her grandma and they can both shop in the store. Like that's how, and I hear that all the time, and that's a lot of our customers. Like last week was like, there must have been something going on in F&M. And we had a lot of F&M students with their parents come in, and they were both buying stuff. And that's what I love about our store is like we cater to everyone. We have different price points, you know, the more affordable to a little more higher end. So we just cater to everyone.
That's awesome. And I feel like with those classic pieces, like you mentioned, it doesn't matter what age you are. Like if it's a
Exactly.
classic piece, you can wear it one way if you're doing this, or another way if you're older or you're doing something else.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I like that too. I think Kristen mentioned that's something about when things are more sustainable. It's like a piece that's made well, so you can wear it longer, or you can wear it in more ways through different seasons, versus that fast fashion off the rack in the store. It's, a different thing the next week.
It's good for like 3 months.
Yeah.
And then people are like throwing it away.
Yeah.
No, that's not what we want. We don't want fast fashion. I want slow fashion. I want something that you can hang in your closet for like 20 years and it's still a trend. Like Nicole Taylor, and then versus like that shoe girl. Like that shoe girl, like I said, I was young. I didn't really know a lot about that, sustainable and all that good stuff. I didn't learn that until later on into business, where I was reading things, I was seeing things on TV, and I was like, whoa, like how can I change the fashion environment within my store and what I'm giving to people? So when I opened that shoe girl, it was more of like the fast fashion, like what was the latest trends and things like that. And then growing into Nicole Taylor, actually 2 years into that shoe girl, and then even more into Nicole Taylor, I didn't want that. I want things that people can wear. Like I want someone to wear our summer dress that we had with leggings, boots, and a cardigan in the fall and winter. Like I want pieces that are going to transition into every single season.
Yeah. I feel like they wash better too. It's not like you can just wear it more because it is a style that might be more transitional. But I feel like when things are made better, or like the quality of the fabric is better, like you can wash it many times and it won't get pilly, or it won't get like, it won't shrink. Cause I feel like, love my Target. We talk a lot about Target and we talk a lot about our favorite things at Costco because we're moms. But there are things that at Target, it's hit or miss. I might get a shirt that I love for a week and then I wash it a few times and it's totally different. And I'm like, oh man, like in the end, that was kind of a waste of money because I want something that's going to last me.
Exactly.
And I've got kids that spit up on me. I need to be able to wash it a bunch of times.
Right. Well, and so Nicole, this might be hard for you to answer, but we like to talk about our favorite things. And I'm sure you have a whole list of favorite things. You've shared a few of them already. But what would you say is, if you have something other than fashion, feel free to share. But what would be one of your favorite things as of late? I can share mine, and it's just like a really good nursing bra.
A good nursing bra?
I have a few. You mentioned like your undergarments being good quality, but any of my undergarments that feel secure, like they're going to hold me in, last the day, because I'm constantly moving around, up and down, lifting up kids, cleaning. So anything that feels really, like I'm locked in there.
Holds them in place.
That's a favorite of mine.
Yeah, I don't have kids and I've never nursed, but girl, I understand you on that one. Like having a good bra is something, because if not, these girls would be everywhere. I'll probably end up getting a black and blue eye. Like that's just how uncontrollable they are.
I went out before and like halfway through my errands, I realized I was still unhooked. And I was like, why do I feel weird? Oh, didn't hook that bra back up.
So, yeah, that is a nursing bra problem. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So anyway, favorite things from either of you that are not as glamorous as a bra?
So my thing lately that I've been doing on like Sundays on my Instagram is like putting a great quote up so that people can read. And the reason I do it on Sunday is because it's the start of the week. And I just want people to feel like empowered throughout their week. So I'm always posting something on Instagram, a quote. I'll put it either on my story or on my feed, just to encourage people in general, men, women, whoever's following me on Instagram. I don't know. I just I'm a very like people person, and I always like, I'm a nurturing person also. So I always like to make sure that people feel good about whatever it is in life that they're doing or whatever in life they're going through. So I just like to, that's just been a habit of mine that I'm making sure that I do every Sunday, is to empower people and putting like a great quote on my Instagram.
That's perfect. I love that. And that's a great way, like you said, to start the day.
Yeah, that's such a great favorite thing. I had a favorite thing that I actually thought of ahead of time. A lot of times I am like a last minute, just, what's my favorite thing today? Look around the room. That's me. But one of the things that I have really enjoyed lately is also Instagram. I feel like social media can really be positive if you make it that way.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy following a girl. She's a mom of 3 or 4 now, and her Instagram handle is the Garcia Diaries, and she posts a lot of body positivity related things. She collaborates with a lot of other mom bloggers and women that are in fashion, but inclusive fashion, and showing the real unedited photos. I think that I think I might have stumbled on her from someone else, and it was because she was posting, it was like a time-lapse video of a photo, and then it must have been like a screen video or something showing how somebody can just manipulate it and edit it to take this, what I already thought was a beautiful woman sitting there, and like, they lengthened this to make that look slimmer, and then they like brought her waist in a little bit. They made her boobs look bigger. It was like mesmerizing to watch the time lapse of how, like, with Photoshop you can do all these things. And she just spoke to, sharing what's real, what's raw, and she shows off her stretch marks and she's proud of them. And I love it. I think she's inspiring to follow. And so, yeah, if you need another positive person in your feed, it's the Garcia Diaries. And Nicole, how can people find you on social media? Because I already follow you and I want to say I know what it is, but share all the things.
So on Facebook, it's Nicole Taylor Boutique. On Instagram, it's Nicole Taylor PA. Someone stole Nicole Taylor Boutique. Someone already had it.
They totally stole it
from me. And then my website is NicoleTaylorBoutique.com. What else do I have? Oh, on Pinterest. Pinterest is a really big platform now. It's Nicole Taylor Boutique also.
Awesome. And can people shop online?
People can shop online. We have, if you spend a certain amount, you get free shipping. We have free in-store pickup if you shop online. So I have a lot
so you can click that option at checkout.
Exactly. We have a lot of busy moms and busy professionals that can't make it to our store during our business hours. So you can definitely shop online and do free store pickup.
That's really cool.
That's all of our
So if you're not local, be sure to find Nicole online, shop NicoleTaylorBoutique.com, and remember that to look great, you just have to dress for your body type.
Yeah, dress for your body type. If you need assistance, you can always go on Pinterest. YouTube is really good. If you need to learn how to dress for your body type, there's a lot of platforms out there that show you how to dress for your body type. If you're local, I recommend going to Jessica Timblin. She's awesome. We actually do workshops together at the store. She's great. There's a lot of different ways you can figure out how to dress for your body type, or just come in and shop and I'll dress you from head to toe. Yep.
Well, I am going to take you up on that. Sounds amazing. Thank you so much, Nicole, for joining us and just sharing how you got to where you are and your heart for helping women. It was incredible to listen to.
Yes, I am just always impressed by your business savvy. That was so interesting to me. I had no clue how you got started, and thank you for sharing that. And for anyone that wants to learn more, I'm sure she'd be happy to chat on Instagram or get connected somehow. So
I'm always answering questions in my DM, or you can call the store, email me, whatever you feel more comfortable. And all of our information is on our Instagram and Facebook.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Nicole. And listeners, thank you for joining us today. And in case you didn't already get the memo from what Nicole shared, you are doing amazing and you look beautiful.
Thank you so much for listening today. You are a part of a growing community of moms, business owners, and women who are here to encourage and inspire. You can connect with Rachel at Rachel Klein Creative on Instagram or rachelkleincreative.com. To keep up with Christine and her latest events, follow her business journey on Instagram at Bellenberry Co. And if you want to be first to know about upcoming guests and giveaways, sign up for the Thrive Podcast email list today. Simply visit rachelkleincreative.com/The Thrive Podcast or follow at The Thrive Podcast on Instagram. If you've enjoyed listening this week or you've already added our show to your favorites playlist, we'd love for you to write us a review on iTunes. Your support and positive feedback allows us to keep encouraging moms and business owners each week.